Hello, my friends. Welcome to your Monday. Sunny. Look at it. Look at this. Look at this. Blue sky, sunshine. It's at least 20 degrees. It's not even 11 in the morning on this Monday. Has this been like the worst end of spring into early summer? It isn't even summer yet. And the weekend was filled with terrible weather. Mother Nature won't turn the fan on, won't turn the fan off. The heater isn't even on. I mean, this week, Saturday was absolutely treacherous. It was, 6 degrees? It is late June. Let's go, everybody. Hopefully this is the start of a new, better week weather-wise. It's not. It's not. More rain coming Thursday, Friday, right through the weekend. Like, I'm one of those individuals, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not going to front. I'm one of those individuals, I do get bothered by the weather. Like, it's nice and sunny and blue skies today. I'm a happier person today. Thursday, Friday, if the forecast will hold up as they're telling us right now that Thursday, Friday are going to be rain, cold, windy, miserable, no sunshine. Summer will start this week. I'm going to be bothered by that. I'm going to be like, what are we doing? We got nothing to do. We got nothing to do. The NBA Finals is over. The Stanley Cup Final might be over, depending on what happens tonight, right? Like, what is going on with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who look like they have no reason, no being whatsoever in the Stanley Cup Final? Colorado smoking them left, right, and center. Tampa can't get any shots on goal. They can't score. Darcy Kemper looks like Andrei Vasilevsky. Andrei Vasilevsky looks like Red Light Rasico. 7-0. The Tampa Bay Lightning never get beat 7-0 by anybody. But yet, here we are, Colorado. 2 wins away from winning a Stanley Cup title. The series moves to Tampa for Game 3 and Game 4. Game 3 tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what the pushback is going to be because, look, truth be told, I had every right to think that Tampa was going to show up. How many times have we been talking about the Lightning? No sweat, no panic, no stress, no nothing. And what happened? They go to Colorado, that rockin' building. Even Nathan McKinnon's been quiet. Darcy Kemper, well protected, well insulated, making the stops when he needs to. And Colorado is just overwhelming Tampa with speed. Look, I mean, count me amongst those that didn't really understand why Andrei Vasilevsky played the entirety of Game 2. All 7 goals, all get by Andrei Vasilevsky. It has to come down to a conversation, right? It has to come down to a conversation between the goaltender and the coach. I don't think there's ever an instance, unless the guy's really hurt, obviously in pain and discomfort, where a player, when asked by his manager or his coach, say, listen, how you feeling today? How you feeling? You want to finish this game? I think every competitor is going to look at that and say, yeah, I'm down to finish this game. No one's going to voluntarily pull themselves out of this thing. But John Cooper lets it go with Andrei Vasilevsky, who, look, from my perspective, I don't think there's any chance that Andrei Vasilevsky was embarrassed. I don't think Andrei Vasilevsky was let down. I think his guys came to play. I think, Vasilevsky looked at the players in front of him, and his takeaway was these guys are half-assing it. They're not competitive. They've waved the white flag in Game 2. Maybe then, in a situation like that, Vasilevsky says, fine, you guys ain't trying. Forget it. I'm not going to try either. So I'm not going to play the third period. But I think when it comes to a strong teammate, someone that you can trust, a foxhole guy, so to speak, Andrei Vasilevsky, to me, did the right thing. He was in it, in that foxhole with his guys to the tune of a 7-0 drubbing. If Steven Stamkos and Ryan McDonough and Nikita Kucherov and everybody else, Braden Point, everybody else out there in a 6-0, 7-0 game, then I think Andrei Vasilevsky feels he should be there with his teammates, which I think speaks volumes. If that's what happened, and that's my read, if that's what happened, that tells you everything you need to know about the teammate, the type of character that Andrei Vasilevsky is. How many of you guys paid attention to the Canadian Grand Prix? Let's go back to the weather. How awful was that for qualifying on Saturday? Max Verstappen takes the pole, and with it, the checkered flag, from pole to checkered flag for Max Verstappen for Red Bull. Carlos Sainz Jr. from Ferrari finishes in second. Lewis Hamilton takes a podium. And he's struggling. That Mercedes is struggling big time. And that was only his second podium of the season. And what was, quite frankly, guys, a boring Canadian Grand Prix. It wasn't filled with excitement. Max Verstappen pole to checkered flag. A little bit of a sweat towards the end with Carlos Sainz, but really it was a stereotypical Sunday drive. Nice and easy for Red Bull as he coasts to a 6th straight and 6th win of this F1 season. So it was nice to see lots of tourists. Like, I kind of live in the downtown area. I was engines roaring and racing all over my neighborhood. It was nice to see lots of tourists back. It was nice to see Montreal kind of alive and kicking again. and hopefully my friends in the restaurant business, Old Montreal, the hoteliers, everybody else, I hope all your pockets are stuffed with cash from the tourists that rolled in. The U.S. Open has come and gone. I hope you guys follow my picks. I gave you three. You know, generally my strategy when it comes to golf betting, right, for futures, who's going to win a tournament, when we release picks on a Wednesday for a round that starts on Thursday, I like to give you a favorite. I like to give you some guy in the middle, and then a long shot spécial du jour. So my three picks on Wednesday that I gave you right here on this channel were Rory McIlroy, Cameron Young as my long shot, and Matthew Fitzpatrick, who ultimately won at 30-1. Now, hopefully you guys followed those picks, and you're cashing in a very profitable ticket this morning in the aftermath of Matthew Fitzpatrick winning for the first time on the PGA Tour, and it is a U.S. Open. As he joins Jack Nicklaus, only two guys and two guys only won a U.S. Amateur and a major on the same course. Jack Nicklaus did it, winning his U.S. Am at Pebble Beach, and then winning the U.S. Open on the same track. And Matthew Fitzpatrick won his U.S. Amateur at the Country Club at Brookline in 2013. Fast forward 9 years later, he is a major champ and a winner for the first time as a PGA Tour member. He had closed a bunch of tournaments. I want to say he had won 7 times on the Euro Tour, now called the DP World Tour. And look, the reaction shots of his family, his brother, his parents, very cool to see. And it speaks volumes, right? Like, who's waiting for him as he walks off the 18th green? There was Rory McIlroy in a full embrace, telling him how all the hard work has paid off. Because Matthew Fitzpatrick, you know, for all the success he's had on the European stage, he'd been starving for success on the PGA Tour on American soil. He had never really done it. So he tried all these different things, speed tests, trying to get faster, trying to get more powerful. Guy's got braces on. I mean, it's hard not to cheer for Matthew Fitzpatrick. And so not only did he hit 17 of 18 greens, he putted well, he drove the ball exceptionally well, drove it long, drove it deep, and ultimately cashes in. And that bunker shot on 18 from 159 out was just spectacular, right? So what happens now? Everyone talking about the LIV Invitational. How did the LIV Tour guys do at the U.S. Open at Brookline, the Country Club in Boston? 14 players from the LIV Tour participated in and qualified for the U.S. Open. And as you've heard me talk about many times, I have no issue whatsoever at any time for these guys that decided to jump ship and go ply their trade with the LIV Tour and leave the PGA in the dust. That if you qualify for an Open, you qualify for an Open. That's why it's called an Open. It's open to anyone that has the credentials to qualify. So 14 players that now play on the LIV Tour qualified and played in the U.S. Open. How'd they do? Of the 14 players, 4 made the cut. DJ, Richard Bland, Patrick Reed, and Bryson DeChambeau. So Phil didn't make it, Louis didn't make it, Kevin Na, Taylor Gooch, Sergio Garcia, Lando Norris, Horsfield, Brandon Grace, Morgan, Piot, none of those guys made it. Dustin Johnson fared the best out of all of the LIV Tour players. T24 at 4 over par. Richard Bland, who's pushing 80 years old, T48 at 8 over. Patrick Reed, T49, 10 over. Bryson DeChambeau, T56, 13 over. Phil finished 11 over. Louis Oosthuizen 6 over, right? Like, who are you paying to watch? Anybody? I mean, Bryson is the answer. Bryson is the answer. Like DJ, I'm convinced of this. Dustin Johnson is not a fan of playing golf. Full stop. Just not. He admitted that his goal is to play less, not more golf. That's why he gave up the PGA. That's why he jumped on the LIV Tour. Look, it's easy when someone's giving you $150, $200 million in guaranteed money that you're going to rip up your tour card, especially if you don't love the game. Dustin Johnson is a great athlete. Dustin Johnson could have been a pro at pretty much any sport that he really worked hard at trying to be a pro at. It just so happened that golf was the best of the best. And as a direct result, this man would rather be doing a lot of other things than playing professional golf. And look, that's on him. I'm not here to force feed golf down Dustin Johnson's throat. Neither should you. Dustin Johnson made up his own mind, and now he plays LIV Tour golf. And that's it. Good. Fine. Good riddance. I'm good with all of that. So outside of Dustin Johnson, outside of Bryson DeChambeau, you know, who are we talking about that moves the needle? Who are we talking about in these no-cut events on the LIV Tour? Like, great, there's no cut. Andy Ogletree, like, went 19 over par. Who wants to watch that? Like, who wants to watch guys that don't have it continue to play golf? And I understand that if you're, you know, a Grayson Murray, for example. Who's Grayson Murray? Grayson Murray finished dead last at the U.S. Open at Brookline on Sunday. What did Grayson Murray cash for his last place finish? He made the cut, so he gets paid $36,000. You haven't paid taxes on that money yet. You haven't paid out your agent yet. You haven't paid out any other members on your staff that you may have, massage therapists, therapists for your head, all these other things. You haven't paid taxes. You still have to cover all your own expenses. And Grayson Murray made $36,000. Still got to pay the tax man, right? What if you want to cash $100,000 at the U.S. Open? Well, you better finish top 30. What if you want to cash 150 large at the U.S. Open? Better finish T24. So that's where we're talking about, and that's where the PGA Tour is in trouble. Because if you have guys like Grayson Murray or any other PGA Tour player that you and I don't really know about, because the guys that, just barely make the cut on the cut line, they're not on TV outside of a major championship. No one's watching the Grayson Murrays of the world, but guess what? He's still on tour. So if the Grayson Murrays of the world say, you know what? Forget this noise. I just played and qualified and made the cut and played all 4 rounds of the U.S. Open, and for all of that, I walk away with $36,000. I got to pay the tax. I got to pay my agent. I got to pay my mortgage. Still need to eat. Still need to pay all the other day-to-day bills that we accumulate in our respective lives. For what? When maybe I can get guaranteed money, play less golf, and be in a better financial position, right? That's where we're at. And that's where the PGA Tour is going to have to do something, and do something fast before it's too late. Because with all the names that I listed off, from DJ to Richard Bland to Patrick Reed to Bryson, those guys made the cut. Phil, Louis, Gooch, Garcia, Norris, Horsfield, Grace, Morgan, Piot, all those guys missed the cut. Nobody cares about those guys. No one's here to watch those guys, really. But guess what? That list will be populated. And it looks like there's a new guy that's going to leave the PGA Tour, a young player that's going to leave the PGA Tour and is going to go to the LIV Tour. And that guy is Abraham Answer. And that, my friends, could be a worrisome trend for young players that want to make bank. But again, it comes down to the simple fact, I really truly believe this. Not everybody that plays professional golf loves playing professional golf and wants to be like me and wants to play every day and play every tournament, play every round imaginable. And I think you're starting to see a little bit more clarity shed on those type of specific situations. So Abraham Answer should be the next name. Brooks Koepka had a pretty bad U.S. Open. What do you think is going to happen there? Is Brooksy going to want to go make bank? Does Brooks Koepka seem like a guy that loves to play golf to you? Not so much to me. Maybe that's another name to watch out for. So I think it's going to be a pretty interesting week on the LIV Tour. We've got some best bets on this Monday morning. Welcome to In My Car, Ash Gregoire Chamonix Nissan, Quebec's #1 rated Nissan dealership. More information always available at chamonixnissan.com. Better deals than anybody else in the province because they are the biggest and the best as a direct result because they are the biggest and the best in Quebec. That means they get you your car faster than anybody else. That is a fact. Check them out, 4299 Auto Route 440 West in Laval, online at chamonixnissan.com. Also brought to you by K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur, Highway 138 in Ganawage, right over the Mercier Bridge. So if you're in the South Shore, Chateauguay, Candiac, La Prairie, Delson, over the bridge, LaSalle, Lachine, head over to K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur. Stop paying premium prices for premium fuel. You get premium fuel at discount prices at K-Stop Gas Bar and Depanneur, proud sponsors of In the Car with Star. We've got best bets on this Monday. The two New York teams, Major League Baseball, the Mets are cruising. I like the Mets. That's an afternoon game today. The New York Yankees at Tampa Bay. They're taking on Shane McClanahan of the Tampa Bay Rays. Garrett Cole will go for the Yankees today. So let's back the New York Mets to win this afternoon and the New York Yankees to win first pitch just after 7 o'clock. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, all that stuff. But we've got best bets all week. I gave you Matthew Fitzpatrick to win the U.S. Open, guys. Come on, let's go. He was 30-1. Not too shabby. Hope you tailed and followed along. In the Car with Star. We'll see you later this week.